Welcome back to the newest episode of the Favorite Self podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in on the LDM radio. I'm your host, Alyssa Luce. Now, if you're listening live, I want you to screenshot this episode, tag me on your social media at Intentions of Light, and tell me what you loved about this episode. We're going to get into how to become your favorite self. Season 1 is all about the values that you need in order to figure out who your favorite self truly is. So, when I first discovered this journey, I was a hot mess, okay, guys? I had just gotten out of a 5.5-year relationship, and I was dealing with a lot of personal issues when it came to my health, as well as issues at home with my family, and a lot of mental health issues that really kept me down bad. Now, when I let go of that relationship, I found myself spending a lot more time alone. And eventually, with a lot of reflection, I had figured out that I hated the person I had became. Now, hate is a strong word, as many people would say, but it was truly how I felt, and it reflected in everything that I partook in and every circumstance that had led me to that realization. Now, it is 2024 at the time of this recording, and I have never been more in love with anyone in my entire life than how in love I am with the woman that I have become. And the foundation of that love really was faith. It was faith in myself to do better. It was faith in the world to offer me opportunities to enjoy life. It was faith in something bigger than myself that I was meant to be here to accomplish. Now, if you ask the average person what do they think faith is, they'll probably usually say something you do in religion, or like a feeling you have related to religion. I personally like textbook definitions, and faith genuinely is complete trust and confidence in someone or something. So think about what it's like to trust yourself. Think about what it's like to have confidence in yourself. Many people lack both of those qualities. Many people deal with trust issues. Many people deal with self-confidence issues. So I pose the question, how could you ever possibly become your favorite self if you do not possess faith? Now, I really do encourage everyone that listens to these podcast episodes to take a journal, keep it handy, pause this episode whenever you need to, and write any thoughts that come to mind. Answer these questions when they arise, and really do some self-reflection. Like, I want this to be a partner to your life. Like, I want this to be a guiding light, a little bit of wisdom for your inner self. Maybe you want to meditate after listening to this episode and really think about what is holding you back from having faith in who you are. What is holding you back from trusting yourself to accomplish all your dreams and goals? What is holding you back from having complete confidence in your ability to live a life of success and perfection? Now, I know people would like to come at me and say perfection isn't real, or, perfect is such an ideal. Like, why do you need to be perfect? But it's not what everyone else thinks is perfect. It's what you think is perfect. Maybe, Susie's favorite flower is a rose because she thinks roses are perfect. And maybe Taylor's favorite flower is a sunflower because she thinks sunflowers are perfect. Okay, guys, this isn't your perfect self. This is your favorite self. Your favorite self is able to be different from everyone's version of favorite. Okay, everyone has their own favorite. Therefore, you have your own perfect. Now, what really helped me personally to begin to have faith in myself was creating a success character of some sorts that I could kind of strive to become. So if you didn't listen to episode 1 of this podcast, make sure you listen to it after this episode. Don't leave mid-episode. Don't be one of those. But I really went into depth about how Veggie Godmother came to be. And that is who I idolize as my favorite self, right? As my perfect version of me. And I know this may conflict with some, religious ideas, but religion aside, it's like, think about who your favorite person would be. I would even sit here and argue that God is within all of us. The universe is a part, like we are all a part of this together. Okay? And the perfect, favorite, best version of you already exists, but you just have to believe in that version. You have to have faith in that version, and you have to trust that that version is there for you to become. You have to have confidence in yourself to discover that version of yourself, and have confidence in yourself to know when you have discovered them. You have to have confidence in yourself to know that they are you. You are them, okay? And I'm someone who truly believed I had the best confidence in the world. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing, right? As my mom loved to say, I'd walk around like my shit don't stink. And partially that had to do with, my love for acting and modeling. And from a very young age, I wanted to be on television. And they put me in modeling and acting classes. And it's all about having confidence, right? Having belief in yourself, having faith in yourself and your talent and your ability to be any character you can, and to possess the attention of an entire room, and to work and show off whatever client is hiring you to sell their product, okay? Now, I really did have this confidence for a long time, but once I became older and I was a teenager, this confidence slowly started depleting because, I would see other people who were accomplishing the dreams that I held for myself, and, a little bit of that mindset of lack would settle in, and I would realize that I wasn't getting the things that I wanted. And it wasn't that I couldn't have them, and it wasn't that, I wasn't meant to have these things. It was just, it wasn't meant for me to have them in the way that I believed. It wasn't meant for me to have them at the time I believed I should have them. I had to experience certain lessons. I had to grow into the woman that I am today in order to sit here and tell you about my self-confidence issues and how I regained my confidence and how I regained trust in myself and faith in myself, to be able to sit here right now and tell you that even if you lose that faith and that trust and that confidence, that you can build it back up at any point in time. Some of the things that really helped me to regain my confidence was just looking at myself in the mirror and showing myself so much love and grace. If I didn't like how I looked, if I found myself comparing, if I found myself doubting, okay? Doubt is the enemy of faith. Now, if you're a Christian, that's something that they teach you in church. That's something that they teach you in your sermons, in your Bible, right? In any faith, really, you don't just have to be Christian. You know that doubt is lack of faith. You know that doubt defeats faith. If you have any degree of doubt, any little mindset of lack, your faith is not whole. And you cannot have what you want with any ounce of doubt in your heart. And you have to do things, and you have to convince yourself that you can have confidence, that you can trust that the world is on your side. You can trust that there's a higher power that exists beyond you, that wants you to succeed. You have to believe that you deserve to succeed. You have to believe you deserve everything you want. And that belief, that faith will hold true as long as you hold that faith in your heart. As long as you trust everything you want is already on its way. Everything you want is already in your possession. Everything you want is already promised to you, and your promises are never broken because of your faith, because of your confidence in your favorite self, your confidence in your ability, your confidence in your best life, your confidence in your perfect world, your confidence in your existence. It is so important that in everything you do, you hold faith in your heart. You hold belief that everything works out in your favor. You hold trust in yourself to get everything you want, and you hold trust and confidence that even if you're not getting it when you want it, or it doesn't look exactly how you thought and imagined, that it's just not there yet and it's still on its way. Okay? You can't let the doubt settle in, and you can't let the doubt take over. You have to hold faith. Now I want you guys, after this episode finishes, take a little moment to consider what in your life is keeping you in doubt. What in your life do you feel like you lack trust in? Is it other people? Is it yourself? Is it God? Is it your circumstances? I want you to focus on the things that are actually in your control. And the one thing that will forever be in your control, and only your control, is yourself and the decisions that you make. So decide that you will have 100% faith, trust, confidence, and belief in yourself to do everything possible to create a successful, beautiful, joyous life from this moment forward. Because faith is the foundation of everything around you. Everything you ever see, look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you, even turn around and look behind you. Someone had to have faith in that existence, in that idea, in that thought. Whether you're looking at the phone or the computer or the technological device you're listening to this on, or you're looking at a building, or you're looking at another person, faith had to be the foundation of that existence. It had to be a belief first. They had to trust in the process of creating that thing you see around you. They had to have confidence in their ability to execute, and now it exists because of their faith. So please, take this lesson and run with it. As long as you have faith, you can have anything and everything you could ever want. I love you, and I thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Favorite Self podcast. If you have any specific questions, any suggestions or recommendations, send an email with your request to faveselfpod@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to answer your questions on the next episode of our podcast. Make sure you give us a follow, a like, and share this episode with your friends and family if you enjoyed it. This is your host, Alyssa Luce, and you've been listening to the Favorite Self Podcast.